I should not advertise this, but it's the best lifestyle you could possibly have. So, I maybe have 3 or 4 ideas in a year. Sometimes we don't have any in a year, and sometimes we have many more than that. So it varies. So if you follow the Buffett Munger model, which I do, your life is going to be fantastic. So here's what happens in the Buffett Munger model. Number one, I have no staff. There are no analysts. There are no associates. If you send me your resume, I'll be excited to read it, but I can't help you with a job because there are no job openings, because we've never had a job opening. So one part of the Buffett model is that you do not delegate your investment research. So Warren Buffett, even today, when he buys IBM or whatever he buys, he does all the work himself. He doesn't have anyone under him doing any of the work. There's no one building spreadsheets for him or anything like that. And that's the same thing at Pabrai Fund. So I have a few part-time admin assistants who are great. They help run any of the back office things if you have. But even there, we don't have much going on. So in a typical month, I don't get any phone calls or any emails from my investors. Zero. Okay. And I have about 400 families who have invested with me. And these families basically got selected because I have some very strange rules with how I operate. So, for example, before people invest, I don't meet them and I don't do phone calls with them. So the only people who can invest are people who are willing to do reading of their own. We can give them access to our website. They can read various things. If it makes sense to them, they can invest. So that doesn't work for most people. But for the people it works for, since they invested the money without talking to me, they really are not looking to have a lot of conversations even after that. And what I tell my investors is that we have a couple of annual meetings every year where they can come and they can ask any questions they want. And they come from all over the world. And so, in effect, we are open for business 2 days a year. And it's a lot of fun to meet them and talk to them. So basically, if you don't have any staff, you don't have any HR problems, and you have no issues. And what is the reason that Buffett and Munger don't have analysts? Well, the reason they don't have analysts is that the investment business is a very strange business. You need your brain at unpredictable times, and the rest of the time you don't need your brain. So if I hired a super smart analyst, someone in the audience here, who I think each person here is exceptional, that person would want to do something constructive with their lives. So they would either look to me to tell them what to research, or if I don't give them any direction, I'd say, listen, just go look and tell me when you find some great stock. Well, what would happen is that because we have different circles of competence, 95% of the time, whatever they come up with, I would say no to. Because 95% of the time, what I come up with, I say no to myself. And so since I would have liked this person when I hired them, I would feel really bad about saying no all the time, because it'd just be unpleasant. And so eventually I would give up and say, okay, I'll buy the stock that you want, even though I'm not sure about it. So, and then you've just destroyed the model. So what you have to do if you bring in people is you have to give them their own pools of capital. So they have full autonomy to do whatever they want, and they don't come and ask you what to do. That's what Warren Buffett has done with Ted Wexler and Todd Coombs. He just gave them each $9 billion. They do whatever they want. They don't talk to him. That works. So when I look at investment operations, like you mentioned, a bunch of operations in China, etc., I look for violations of the model. So, Moses came up with the 10 commandments. We have commandments in investing as well. They come from the guy with the bus behind me, and they come from Warren Buffett, and they come from Ben Graham. They've written the commandments. And so one should follow those commandments. So when I look at an investment operation, the first question I ask is, how many violations are there? And the first place I look for violations is team size. And you have 5,000 stocks in the US, and you have several thousand outside the US, in China, wherever. And we are bargain hunters. So why do you need a team to find bargains? You don't. The simplest way to find bargains is to be a cloner. And I am what you would call a shameless cloner. I just, I meet Li Lu, and who's 100 times smarter than me. I say, Li Lu, can we meet for lunch? And every once in a while, I'll ask him, Li Lu, what do you own? And in a moment of weakness, he'll tell me what he owns. And then I just go buy it, and I'm done. And I don't even need to pay Li Lu. It's great. And probably a better analyst than anyone I could hire. So, and then in the US, we have 13F filings where every quarter people have to file what they own. So just figure out who the smart people are, look at what they're buying, reverse engineer them. You don't need an analyst. It's actually fun. Many times, by the time I get to the office, half the trading day is over. I mean, in California, the stock market opens at 6:30 in the morning. 6:30 in the morning, I can assure you, I am drooling on my pillow. I am fast asleep. If I'm not sleeping till 2 in the morning, I'm not getting up at 6:30. Tomorrow morning, please don't tell this to anyone. This is just between us, okay? Tomorrow morning, I will wake up at around 9 a.m. I may wake up at 9:30 a.m. There's no alarm. I'll wake up whenever I wake up, okay? And there's no meetings because there's no staff. And there's nothing on the calendar because that's what Warren Buffett told me. Keep your calendar empty. And I have no idea what I'm going to do tomorrow. No idea. But I know it'll be an exciting day because I have so many books to read. I've at least got 30 books on my desk that I want to get to. So I'll pick some book if that's of interest. If some company shows up, I'll read about the company. If I want to watch a movie with my wife, we'll do that. Whatever, man. I mean, the key to life is find CRISIL, that's the Moody's of India, and then just go to sleep for 20 years. That's it. Wake up at 2 in the afternoon. Who cares? Because we found CRISIL, and then the guys at CRISIL will make all the money for us. So we don't need to do anything. And it's very simple. If you believe in the power of compounding, then a small amount of money on the side can get you to independence relatively quickly. I think the key is that you spend less than you earn, you put something away, and then that little something can become more and more. And eventually what you want to do is you want to be your own boss. So forget trying to chase the corporate dream. Forget all of that. I was very lucky that I never worked in the investment business. I didn't even understand the investment business. I kind of stumbled upon it. And because I never worked anywhere, the only models I had was Warren and Charlie. And so I just looked at how did Warren run his partnership? I set up the partnership the same way. How do they run their life? If you look at Warren Buffett's calendar, it's completely empty. And so let's keep it empty, and let's do things that are fun. Like I think like the reason I'm doing this talk is because it's fun. Number one, it's fun. That has to be fun. Number two, I want to get better at the multi-bagger. So I'm using you guys to pound into my brain to be even more patient, to be patient for 20 years. I never held a stock except that one stock by accident for 20 years. So I want to hold something for 20 years and get 100x on it. I want to do that, and it'll show up. It might show up when I'm 60, and we'll hold it till we're 80, and I hope that happens.